Hello, live chatters. It is Douglas George Bloch. Today is January 23rd, 19. No, it's 2000. No, it's 2010. No, it's 2020. No, it's 2021. Oh my God. Holy McGillicuddy. Good evening, Doug. My employer told me that they are supported about the staff's mental health, but the work is nonstop. What should I do? Can you say hello to my wife, Justine? Justine, I love that name. My wife's name also starts with a J, Joan, which stands for justice and joy. And there's Jason Clulo. Look at the J's are taking over. Justin, Joan, Justine, Joy, Justice. Well, Robin, nice to see you. GPH, nice to see you. Metal Odyssey, Legia, and C, you're looking good today. Well, guess what? I almost didn't make it today. I was in the emergency room last night. Yay! Why was I in the emergency room? Hey, Jason Clulo, a cowboy asked me if I could help him round up 18 cows. I said, of course. That's 20 cows. You are bad, Jason Clulo. Round up. Very funny, very funny. Like numerically. Hey, Pamela Perry, one of my favorites. Yes, I want you guys to see something here. I don't know. You can't really tell, but this arm right here is way more swollen than this. Anyway, yeah, you can see how much more swollen this arm is. Well, I went to the ER room, and the doctor there. I went to urgent care. Excuse me, and the doctor turned white and said, "You might have a blood clot. Go directly to the emergency room. Do not stop. Do not collect." What did they say? Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. It's not Monopoly. Go to jail. Anyway, so I called my wife, Joan, who picked me up. We went right to the ER, and he said, I'm calling ahead so that you make sure they'll see you immediately. So sure enough, I got in, and the guy took my blood pressure, of course, went up from 138 to 165. And anyway, they got us into a room, but then, of course, we had to wait for all these different people taking my blood signs, vital signs, checking me in. Anyway, who here has been in an emergency room? They're very draining places. Fortunately, it only took us a half hour to get into the room, but we had to then spend 3.5 hours more there. The upshot is we had this really great physician's assistant emergency doctor who moved here from Boston called Hannah. Madam. Anyway, they went ahead and they did an x-ray of the old elbow and an ultrasound, all of the veins leading down to the elbow, and they claimed, guess what? It looks like you had a clot, but you didn't. You have bursitis. Said, let me go, and I didn't get to bed till 2 a.m, exhausted, and I barely woke up in time for this. Anyway, so covet your health, not your wealth, right? Your health is your wealth. The interesting thing, this is the 23rd of January. It was exactly 1 month ago on the 23rd of February, of 1 month ago, the 23rd of December, I was going down Rocky Butte, and for 4 hours I lost my memory. So the 23rd of December, lost my memory for 4 hours. The 23rd of January, was in the emergency room for 4 hours. And the 23rd of February is the day after my 72nd birthday. When the 23rd comes, I want you to pray for me that I don't have another incident. All right. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever. By the way, it's very painful when I pick up my any strain on this elbow. Oh my God. Has anyone ever had bursitis? Shirley K, better late than never. Hey, Roller Girl, I love your name. Are you from Las Vegas? Yeah, well, I'm not better. I still have a lot of pain in my arm, but it's a hell of a lot better than a blood clot, don't you think? Pastor Peggy, this is Pastor Peggy with the Sunday noon Depression Radio Hour, or Depression YouTube Hour. Thank you. Do I have a sympathy contribution from somebody around here? Zolch. Had altitude sickness all night in Denver. Wasn't fun. Glad you're feeling better. Well, I hope you're feeling better, Zolch. Zolt 3CH. How do people come up with these names? I never could figure it out. Hey, we have 57 viewers. Should I tell more stories about my brushes with death? I will. I was in a halfway house in 1975. 26 years old, severely mentally ill. One of the psychotic individuals came running after me with a knife, and I got into my room, and my good friend who was there, we bolted the door. We're going to kill you. Anyway, they finally restrained him, but I'd had images of my death all during the last week. Anyway, as my brother has said to me more than once, it's amazing you're still alive. All right. Sadvir Singh, nice to see you. Richier, nice to see you. Tony Issue. Roro Girl, hi, hi, hi. Edward Steiner, I'm waiting for your joke. Mathematics fanatic. Oh, that's what I am. I was a math teacher for 40 years. 6 hours for stitches. Oh, yeah. Motorcycle. You're born on the 23rd of March? That's my old girlfriend who left me for another man. Don't talk to me. I'm joking. She's a wonderful person. So who else? I want to hear some emergency room stories. I was there last December for cellulitis. Almost pain-free right now? Wow. GI upset, I think, is my anxiety, not from the vaccine. That's cool. Read about 23 on, even a movie on it with Carrie, right? 23 online. Thank you. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Try ice on your elbow. That might help. Yeah, I tried it. It didn't help. I'm going to go to an orthopedic surgeon. Hey, Las Vegas. Yes, good memory, huh? Yes. As you get older and your body starts to kind of get into entropy, you realize that your health is your wealth. Do I charge for counseling? I don't do counseling anymore. The psychology board here in Oregon said that was not okay. When is my birthday? February 22nd, 1949. All right, you students of American history, who was born on February 22nd, 1949? We all used to know when I was growing up, and Lyndon Johnson robbed me of my birthday by making President's Day. Who was born on February 22nd? Actually, two people. One is really famous, the other is somewhat famous. Three people. Who can tell me two of the three people who were born? Of course, you just can look it up on the internet. But who's the important person in American history? February 22nd, 1732. I'm waiting. Believing is the key. Nivina. I like your name. I used to study in the Department of Redundancy Department. You've never been to the hospital, mathematics fanatic? Good. Stay away from them. The woman said, put on your mask. You know, everybody here has COVID. By the way, has anybody here had COVID? I love your pie, by the way. Yes, mathematics fanatic. What was the mathematician's favorite dessert? Pie. And who invented the round table? Was it Sir Arthur? Sir Gawain? No, it was circumference. Okay. And why did the math book feel sad? It had so many problems. Right off the top of my head. Yeah, I should spend more time in the emergency. George Washington, yes. Thank you, Shirley K. All right, Jonathan, Robert Jenkins, the live chat, patron saint number 1. Nothing to complain about. I start seeing a therapist February 9th from the VA. Thoughts still come and go, but they're not intensifying. I know my thoughts do not display the real me. Yes. This is a mantra you'll probably be telling yourself for the rest of your life. And don't worry about it. I have to talk about my depression. Nelson Mandela he was a cancer. The other two people born on February 22nd were Ted Kennedy, the brother of Bobby Kennedy and Jack Kennedy here, and also Frédéric Chopin, as they say in French, the great composer. Please visit India. Yes, a lot of my friends have been there. It's kind of chaotic. What do you do? Say back. Okay, circumference. You like that? Thank you, Metal Odyssey. Texas Angel. Yes, Teresa or Sonrisa or whatever. I was in the ER in July. I'm an empath, so hearing everyone tells the situation on the other side of the curtain's vexed. We were all in the same room. Yeah, well, I had my own private room. Nonetheless, the fluorescent lights are so intensifying. It reminds me of the mental hospital. And everything is so white and clinical. There's no carpet. There's no soft white. There was no Chopin music playing. It was stressful. But while waiting in the ER, guys entered with a guy with handcuffs. The guy in cuffs told the cops to read the sign. There was a sign on the wall that said, "No cell phones, please." Both cops were on their cell phone. Thank you, Richier. We actually had a guy, as soon as we sat down, who was trying to escape from the psych ward. And they took 3 policemen to bring him back. If you're an empath, do not go to the ER room. Thank you, Edward. Patron saint number 2, these $20 donations, even though Google takes 1/3 of them, oh well, they're enough to pay for the people who help me with this channel. This is the first year I haven't done the Boston Marathon because of COVID. I usually don't do it because I'm fat and can't run. That's very good. Hey, Edward, that's like the person goes into the surgery on her hands and says, "Doctor, will I still be able to play the piano after the surgery?" The doctor says, "I don't see why not." She said, "Good, I've never played the piano." All right, I'm a little hyper right now. That's because I was scared silly. A blood clot? Okay. Number 2, American history. What famous president had a blood clot that almost killed him? This was in my lifetime. And I'll tell you, give you a hint, he was under a tremendous amount of stress. And the blood clot was in his knee. Yes, they said it wasn't okay for me to counsel because I didn't have a license. But I wasn't counseling, I was running depression support groups. Nonetheless, they didn't realize the difference between psychotherapy one-on-one and a peer support group where I was basically charging very little. No yellow walls in the hospital? Yeah, white, white, white. Very good. Okay, sonrisa means smile in Spanish, but my name is Wendy. Of course, Texas Angel, of course your name is Wendy. We had this in there. Thank you. And I like sonrisa, yes. I took Spanish in college. Lluvia. It's raining outside. Niebles, is that clouds? Anyway, the hospital isn't her nightmare for me. Can you suggest free tips on how to deal with it? Just-O-Matic, what are you being hospitalized for? Physical or mental conditions? And they're very they're different. Have visitors if you can. And God, you said the same thing 3 times. Yes, I understand. Reagan? No. Reagan was old, but he was healthy. But he was a Republican. How's that? See, nobody here is my generation except for Ann C. PPP is crap. That's protective something equipment, says RCB. Oh, you must work in medical care. They say some people inhale books. I know someone who injects books right into his veins, particularly ones with female protagonists. He's a heroin addict. Jason, that's even worse than the last one. Round up 20. Yeah, that's great. Justin, you really have had some difficult times in hospital. So have I. No one still has answered my question because nobody... I'm sorry you guys didn't live through the 60s. It was an amazing, amazing time. Can you imagine someone... Lyndon Johnson? Nope, he was a Republican. You're getting close, both of you guys. Yeah, imagine coming of age right now with this horrible division going on in the country, insurrection, 2 impeachments. Boy, oh boy, you guys would be disillusioned with politics, but I'm not, because when I was growing up, the government did a lot of good things. Harry Truman. Harry Truman was not a Republican. And also, he was not, well, no, I was, when I was born, he was in his first term. So technically he was in my lifetime, but that's not it. Charles Bronson, I messed up drinking alcohol again. I had a week of binge drinking, and now my body is anxiety is off the charts. Well, you know, relapse is part of recovery. I know a lot of people who struggle with alcoholism, and that's what it is. Relapse is part of recovery. What can I tell you? Try to be gentle with yourself. Bye, everyone. Got some work to do. Thank you, Mathematics Fanatic. You and I will have to basically see if we can rehearse the square root of 3 to 20 digits. I used to memorize that. 1.73205080756876. I still remember that from 6th grade. When you go to the ER, always pack a bag, blanket, saltines, ginger ale, and a book to read. Well, I brought a tuna fish sandwich and 2 Satsuma oranges and water. And I asked Joan to bring a book on psychology, but she forgot. But we were together, so that was fine. Personal protective equipment. Thank you. Nixon, you are right, John Key. Excellent. Okay, are you American? So he had phlebitis, the same thing I have. He had it in his knee, not in his elbow. He was getting impeached, or he was almost getting impeached, and he was in such stress that, and you know, he was the Capricorn, which rules the knees, so it was all perfect. Yeah, Richard Nixon had phlebitis right before he resigned the presidency, or maybe right after, and it almost did him in. And of course, we think Nixon was bad. My God, he should thank Donald Trump. Yes, it was Richard Nixon. Yep. In the knee, blood clot, almost did him in. Son Ismail from Denmark. Anyone here who experiences depression is intense emotional pain in the chest, heart that comes and goes during the day? I felt it more in my stomach, but that was anxiety, so I'm not quite sure. Let's see how many people are watching. 77. Let's see if we can hit 90 like we did last time. That'd be very nice. All right. So what are you guys thinking about the winter? Are you taking care? Self-care, self-care, self-care. You're right, Roller Girl. Oh, the quality of PPP is other crap. Well, I'm sorry, RCB. What institution do you work in? Yes, becoming a nurse in the COVID ward. Wow. You are really to be commended. What is it, JFK, who had the clot? I know he had severe health problems. He did. He had Addison's disease. That was Richard Nixon who had the clot. You know who also had health problems that he hid from people? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was in a wheelchair due to polio. No, it wasn't Bush. When actually Bush ran, he was in very, very good shape. At least his body was. No, he's a nice guy. It was Richard Nixon, 1974. Eisenhower, nope. He was also pretty healthy. Nixon had the blood clot. You're right. Well, the Americans know. Although John Keyes... Wait, first you said Richard Nixon. You were right the first time. Satvir Singh, I just changed my meds, but they are just partially helping me. Yoga helps me, but just for the short term, and just had a relapse of anxiety. Worried, will I gain my creativity back? I want to move to the USA. Yes, the USA is a wonderful country, despite anything you've heard about it. I love this country. And yes, your creativity will come back. I can promise you, absolutely promise you, it will come back. When I was depressed and anxious and suicidal, I told my minister, said, I am washed up as a writer. I will never be creative again. It's over. That's why I want to die. And he said, no, he said, when you get through this horrible nightmare you're in, you're going to write about it and help thousands of people. I said, you are crazy. I'm never going to write again. And within 7 months, I wrote this book, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop, A Survivor's Guide to Overcoming Anxiety and Clinical Depression. Which reminds me, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, episode 8 was released yesterday, the 22nd. How many of you have been following my book on YouTube? The guy who reads it, Tobias from Australia, has an amazing voice. I know that somebody on the comment section, might have been Tony Issue. Yeah, born in 65, Real Girl. Well, sorry I missed out in the 60s, but you know, I'm sure, well, I guess you got the moon landing when you were 4, and Woodstock. But yes, I just forgot what I was saying. Oh yes, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop. Have any of you been listening to the audiobook? Mr. Kaushik, I have many superstitious beliefs. I'm connecting the dots a lot and getting anxious when I need to. I'm not quite sure what that means. Gaza, yes. Anthony Olson is not here. Tony Issue, you were the one who made that comment. Yes, Simon, I remember it well. He has an amazing voice. I follow your book on YouTube, Pamela Perry. I love his voice and the photo. I love your voice. I love your name. Don't you like alliteration? Pamela Perry. Doesn't that just roll off the lips? What's another one? Jeffrey James. Loretta Legion. Having a hard time, but Pamela Perry. Michael says, I've listened to them all, did a fine job with the audio version. Well, we have 8 down, 8 to go. Right now, of course, you know it's the middle of chapter 4. I'm struggling with suicidal thoughts. And then I meet 3 angels along the way who help me out, which you'll listen to. Well, you've already met one angel, I think, in episode 8. Mary Mann Morrissey, the minister of the Living Richmond Center. I owe my life to her because she started this God group that healed me. And then 2 more people are going to come. A reading I did with a bookstore person, and also my good friend who I've lost touch with, Judy Swenson, who is my counselor. How to deal with relapses of depression? You just basically have to go back and use your tools, right? Any of you have this chart? Self-care activities to improve your mood, right here. Send me an email, and I'll send you a copy. Here's the other side. What does it say? Boost your psychological immune system. I've used this thing for 25 years. So, what is my email address? That's a good question. DouglasBloch@gmail.com. My first and last name, all lowercase, no dots, no dashes, no periods at gmail.com. I will send you a free copy of that chart. 80 people watching, 80 down and 10 to go. Zolch, on intrusive thoughts, they seem to be sexual nature, violent, weird. Yep, that's part of the course. I don't know why it happens, but the brain misfires. You just either let them go or you replace them with something else. Lagai, nice to hear from you. Which audiobook? The audiobook of my memoir, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop. Your voice calms me down, Douglas. I love you and owe you my life. Well, thank you. You are now getting very sleepy, everyone. Just watch the pendulum go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You are now getting sleepy. That's called hypnotism. All right. I'm an OCD patient. I'm already in hell. Well, OCD is hell. But Robert Jenkins, if you're still on the line, can you tell Farouk Salim, give him some hope that it is possible to get around it or to manage it? Lydia, the audiobook is great. Thanks so much. I had a decision to make. Should I first release it on Amazon, on Audible, on Apple Books, right, and have everybody have to pay for them, or should I release it free initially? Well, you YouTube fans have been so good to me. I now just reached 70,000 subscribers. Yep, 70,000 people have now subscribed to this channel. At the rate they're going, in 2 more years we'll hit 100,000, and then I'm going to have to get drunk right on stage. Hey, Joan, you there? I'll be right back. I'm going to get my bottle or my can. All right, here it is. Pine Top IPA, right here. When I launched my suicide prevention website in November, I drank to its success. There's still a half a can left. So when we get to 100,000, I'll have the other half a can. I think I'll have something now. Anybody like IPA besides me? Besides, I don't really drink. I had this half a can just because of that one incident. Okay. So one other thing I'd like to mention. Luan, nice to see you again. Hello, Douglas. What are the current restrictions in your area regarding COVID? Hardly anything. Just wear your mask in public. How to think logical and not get driven by emotions, Mr. Kaushik? That's the problem of humanity. You finally caught the show live? Yep. Well, good for you. Here we are. Having an IPA last night contributed to my altitude episode. Yes, well, I don't drink, and this was a half a can in 1 year. Alex Haynes, you've had a relapse this week. Been okay for a couple of months, but have gone back. Will you just pick yourself up? You remember what the Buddha said? Our greatest glory is not never falling, but rising every time we fall. I've had at least 15 relapses in my life. Anyway. So I need you guys to do me a favor. I have put my heart and my soul and about $30,000 into this website called survivingsuicidalpain.com. I think it's the best website on the internet on helping people with suicidal thoughts. I'm going to change it to Overcoming Suicidal Pain, change the name. But the internet's a big world, and I haven't had time to publicize it, and only about 10 people a day are going to it, which is a shame. A lot of the material originated at this YouTube channel, so I'd like you to talk to your friends about it. It's not just for people who are suicidal, it's for anybody who's going through a really bad depression. So if you could even go, each of you, just even visit for 5 minutes on that website, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to put the website name again because this is life-saving information. A lot of people have claimed that I've saved their life. I wouldn't go that far, but the information is life-saving. And it would really help me and others if you could go to this website, survivingsuicidalpain.com. It's going to have a name change, but right now, if you could go there and even spend a few minutes, I'd really appreciate it. I'll put the name again later on. And by the way, it's exactly 30 minutes after the hour. We've had 4 donations. Let's have 4 more in the next 30 minutes. It takes a lot of time and energy and thought. I mean, do you know that I have 307 videos and 200 live chats? By the way, we're at number 201. Yes, we hit 200 last week. That's 508 videos. You know how much work and effort and time and focus it takes? Why, I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for suffering. I mean, the Nobel Prize for suffering. No, overcoming suffering. Yes, okay. Is getting spiritual good for fighting anxiety? Yes. Getting spiritual is good for fighting everything. I believe that we are spiritual beings having human experience. Well, when you're spiritual, you know that you're not alone. That God or some other higher power is helping you out, and so it helps you relax. So that's why spirituality is good. Shirley K, can I please have your email? I think it's ruthlessk@gmail.com. She'll give it to you. Oh, by the way, Padar Shields has a list of all the email addresses you guys have mentioned. I sent him a whole bunch, so if you want to get on the email list, contact him. But yes, I can give you, here it is, everybody, ruthlessk@gmail.com. Boy, do I have a good memory, everybody. Come on, let's hear it for the 72-year-old who has a good memory. Do not believe that you lose cognitive function as you get older. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. My good friend's mother is 101, and she's just as smart as any of you, and she's really sharp and quick on the ball. So remember, age does not mean cognitive decline. With having Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2010, says Karen Akins, and damage from chemo and radiation, I feel the COVID vaccine could be harmful. Not sure. Well, talk to your doctor about it. I'm really Hodgkin's lymphoma. Oh God bless you. I'm complaining about my little bursitis. I mean, you have a real illness. If you aren't on the email chain, send your email address to Douglas or Padar. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Kevin Wilson, nice to see you. Evelyn May, nice to see you. So upset I can barely function. Well, BC, I'm sorry. You're on the email list. Let people know about your suffering and what has helped you function before. I have a video called Depression Hates a Moving Target. Do we have 92 people watching, by the way? That'd be great. Okay, whoops, live contact event chat is no longer available. What is that? What happened? How did we? Okay. Are we still here? I must have gone to the wrong page. No, it's still going on. Wow. I went to some place that said the live chat was over. I must have hit the wrong page. Anyway, Peter Shields is showing his, I see, because I hadn't closed the other one, that's why. Arpita Singh, I had psychotic depression last year, very intense. Muhammad Aslet, yes, definitely is Israel or God's witness. It proves God's existence. Alex Haynes, I sometimes question whether half my symptoms are spiritual or mental. Well, always a combination of the two. Okay. So thank you, Riche, for your $10. Really, really appreciate it. My breakdown brought me a spiritual awakening. That's fantastic. That's what happened to me. Mr. Kowski said, can you please send me a document on making my mood better? My email ID is, well, I'm gonna have to basically copy that, right? Or maybe I can write it down on a piece of paper. which I don't have at the moment. Oh, that's no fun, is it? Well, I'll just have to look at the, I'll have post-it notes next time. Yes, Mr. Kaushik, I will definitely make sure you get that chart. Who said the only thing to fear is fear itself? David Cunningham. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Many people consider him our greatest president, right next to Lincoln. Absolutely. Larry is doing well, I'm glad. All I want to do is sleep and eat. Well, that's depression for you. Oh, no, the person said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. What Winston Churchill said was, when going through hell, keep going, which I essentially stole for this book. When going through hell, don't stop. Okay, Padar Shields. And Padar Shields is showing his email address so people can join the email list. Gwen Clemson, I'm a spiritual person. I do have a relationship with Jesus Christ. However, lately I don't even want to read the Bible. You know, spiritual people get depressed. King Saul in the Bible suffered from depression big time. David had to play the harp. David suffered from depression. Jesus had his dark night of the soul on, the Garden of Gethsemane. You cannot be on a spiritual path and not go through your dark night of the soul. That's the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. My book, Words That Heal, talks all about that. Luan, I brought a virtual reality headset for myself. I've ever tried using one. Yes, I find it helps my anxiety. It does. Yes, I'm going to buy some stock in virtual reality companies. All right. Hey, we have a number of people who appreciate the Bible. It is a cool book. And Given Randy for 2020. So Given Randy, $20. Robert Jenkins, $20. Edward Steiner, $20. Thank you guys. You alone are helping this channel stay alive. So let's hear it for all three of them. Great. So much. I'm really glad you're doing that. You're enjoying my YouTube episodes. I had a big decision whether to release them for free or not. And you know what? I should probably ask you guys to give me a tithe if you want to. Reading that book, I put 22 years into that book. So if you want to send me a little tithe for PayPal, right? You can do it at douglasbloch@gmail.com is my address. But do not feel obligated at all. Or you can just give me a tithe. Well, you three of them, you three guys have been so generous every week. So no need for a tithe, given you're already giving me one. But yeah, it's fantastic that you're enjoying the book. I'm so glad. I went through so much suffering, so I'm glad that it's being put to good use. How long does it take to get out of a depressive episode? It varies from person to person. Mine lasted about 12 to 18 months. But you will get out. That's the important thing to know. And someone, Leah Benetti, I love your name. Buffalo, where do you live? I forget. You're somewhere in America, but not Buffalo, but it's not New York City. Thank you for your $5. Really appreciate it. All right. It drove me nuts. Yes, I know relationships can do that. Intrusive thoughts and nightmares. Something's going on with your brain. Gwen, have you seen a doctor? All right. Hey, Avocado Man, nice to see you again. Any advice for helping a teenage boy with panic attacks? Well, I have a video called How to Manage an Panic Attack. There's so much information. It's a combination of cognitive therapy, behavioral therapy, changing how you talk to yourself. It's going to be okay. Not let the panic, start to get you really fearful. And also sometimes medication. And exercise, but panic attacks can be treated, but they're very scary. Can you talk about how to find your passion in life? I feel like I'll be depressed if I'm stuck doing something boring for a living. I'm in my mid-20s. You're absolutely right, Insect Val. Many people get depressed when they're not in touch with their passion. I just learned in the hospital, my nurse had studied the Japanese, and there's a term called ikigai or something like ichigai, which represents waking up in the morning and having a sense of purpose. And they say that it's the key to mental health. Has anybody heard of that word? It's a Japanese symbol, so I can't write it down. But yes, well, I found my passion as a writer when I was 29, so there's still plenty of time for you. There's a wonderful book, Insect, that you should read that changed my life. It's called Wishcraft by Barbara Shear. She has you imagine your ideal day, what it would be like to wake up in the morning and have everything just great in your life. And people know what their passion and purpose is. They just have to uncover it. It's there already. You were born with it, okay? So you keep asking, setting the intention that you will find your passion and purpose, as I did, and eventually it will come. I can absolutely promise you, okay? So I have two things to recommend, Insect Wow. First, a book, and then one of my videos, because I mentor young people in their 20s all the time. Okay, ready? Insect Wow, here's the first thing. The book for finding passion. If I can only type. Okay, Doug, take a deep breath. Wishcraft, Wishcraft, by Barbara I've met Barbara in her apartment, 92nd Avenue in 1983. An amazing book, absolutely amazing book. Okay, and the other thing you want to do is you want to watch my video called Setting the Intention to Heal. Okay, so Insect, forgot your last name. If you read that book and you listen to my video, Insect Wow, you can start to find your passion. I guarantee you'll find it. And you're right. That was my greatest fear when I was in my 20s. I did not want to work in an office job that was boring. You're absolutely correct, especially if you have depression. So good luck. And again, if you want to, send me your email address. Email us, I'll send you this self-care activities. And I think somewhere here that we talk about that. Structure, routines, thing. I think it's on spiritual. Here, right here. It says finding purpose and meaning. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see what you're seeing. But that's one of the things that helps people deal with depression. I'm getting tired. I went to bed at 2. I need to find somebody to stay up. I may have to go run for a cup of coffee. At any rate, thank you for being here. Again, I do want to mention that I would love some of you to go to this new website I've created, survivingsuicidalpain.com. I really appreciate your helping to get the word out. Oh yes, you know, I'm so sorry, Lazy Ranch, about your goats. I lived on a farm when I was 22 years old, and I loved the goats. They were my favorite animals. Christina Vasquez, nice to hear from you. Went on Paxil 1 month ago and suddenly stopped, was doing great, then suddenly stopped working. Is that normal? It's called Prozac poop out. It does happen. It's very distressing. Talk to your doctor, your prescriber, see what he wants you to do. Maybe increase the dose, I don't know, but it does happen. RCB, I managed 2 visits to what? Ashmolean in Oxford? That must be somewhere in the UK. What is that? You're welcome, Insect Bow. Keep me posted. You will and can find your passion. Gwen, how old are you, may I ask? Are you in menopause? Says Margaret Payne. I'm so afraid of taking med, but if it'll help, I guess I need to consider it. What I found, Gwen, is to start in tiny doses and build up. It's called titrating. The best psychiatrist for anxiety in all of Portland talks about that. Avocado cup, wow. All right. insectwow@gmail.com. Hey, can you tell me what that stands for? I don't think it's your real name, but yes, I will go ahead and send you that diagram. Go Chiefs! I think he's meaning about the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't they win the Super Bowl last year with that wonderful what's his name? Patrick Mahomes. $1 arcade cup. I got a raise. It used to be 99 cents. Thank you so much. From Green Bay. How'd the Packers do this week? Or this year? Hello from Panama, Central America. Ismail Gurley. Nice to hear. I love an international audience. What is CBT? Cognitive behavioral therapy. It's the most popular therapy for treating depression. Okay, there's the answer to your question. Oh man. When you go to sleep at 2 in the morning and you used to go to sleep at 12, maybe we should have some more beer. No, that'll just make me more tired. So we need to crack the 90 mark. We only have 87. We have 87. 3 more people. Come on, you guys. Hit the like button. That's what Kyle Bailey used to tell us. Hit that little like button, the thumbs up, and it'll draw more people here. So let's do that. Let's hit 90 before we leave. Do I practice meditation? Yes, in the morning. It's wonderful. Help my anxiety so much, but it takes time to get the benefits. You're right, but it's worth it. Can CBT get you off antidepressants? Possibly, depending on how depressed you are. Beth Miller, nice to hear from you. Can I get personal counseling sessions for you? I explained before that I'm not allowed to do counseling. And I don't have time. 91, all right, we hit the 90 mark. We went ahead and made our goal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All you people are hitting the like button, and a couple more donations wouldn't hurt. And remember, this book is being serialized. We have episodes 1 through 8 are up there. You should start the first one with the introduction. 91, thank you so much. Let's see if we can hit 100. We've only done that once or twice. I'll take 91. Episodes 1 through 8 of my audiobook. Oh, do you hear Bruce, everybody? Oh my God, what a meow he has. 10 euros. Pedar Shields, thank you so much. You're a real trooper. All right. I like beer. Well, I do too, but I hardly drink it because it puts me to sleep. Okay, what was I going to do? This is a cell phone. What does a cell phone do? Well, one of the things it does is it takes pictures, right? And sometimes you can even organize them in albums. And sometimes you can have an album of your cat. And here he is, Himalayan. Isn't that amazing? Bruce Bloch. An amazing, amazing Himalayan cat who's human, basically. But he has a very large, loud meow. All right. I love that cat. Did you all see the video I did called Your Pets Can Keep You Here? One of the most profound videos I've ever put up. You should watch it if you love animals. Adam Lyon, often psychiatrists want to treat my major depressive disorder with SSRIs. Are there any new SSRIs in the market that do not cause sexual dysfunctions? There's some older ones, I think, and there are also other things besides SSRIs, like things that work on dopamine, like what I'm on, Wellbutrin. And there's atypical SSRIs like Remeron. So the super strain, Robin, is basically talking about Patreon. If you don't have a credit card, you can subscribe to Douglas for as little as $2 a month. There's also the possibility to talk to other people from the chat on any day. That's absolutely true. So I forget to mention it, but I have a crowdfunding website. It's called Patreon, and it's simply easy to get to, www.patreon.com/Douglas Bloch. And there you have it. Pedar is giving his address, and thank you for the $9.99. Evelyn May, thank you, Douglas. I can't wait to feel like myself again. Thank you for the hope and knowledge you share. Thank you. Evelyn, we had correspondences by email, or many years ago we were in touch. Was it the live chat or was it just email? But your name is so familiar. I know we've spoken before. Yes, losing pets is very tough. I'm going to do a YouTube video with my friend Claire about what it's like to lose an animal. How do I practice meditation? I use something called Vipassana. You just like this, and you breathe and you just focus on your breath, and when your mind wanders, you bring it right back. It's really simple, and you can focus on anything, like a word like peace or stillness or Jesus or Buddha or anything you want to focus on. Just have a focus. Douglas, you do a phenomenal job with this live chat. It really helps me. Thank you. I've always wanted to have my own TV show. And this is Pastor Doug's Radio Hour, every Sunday from 12 to 1. And we have 8 minutes left. Yes, thank you, Evelyn. But it seems like we've gone back at least 3 or 4 years. I love that one. Good news is my new kitty that showed up last week gets fixed. Had his first visit, gets fixed next Friday. He looks like just my 2 cat I had 38 years ago. Yes, fixed. That's the euphemism for it. I won't say the word, but you know what I mean. Sing gets instruction routine to your life. Very good. Rabbi Shankar. You know Rabbi Shankar leaves more comments on my, and just think, I love his music too. Oh my God. I love your music, but you leave more comments on my YouTube channel than anybody else. Losing 2 pets in 11 months. Wow, each one followed by a hurricane is what knocked me into my current affliction. Absolutely. The loss of pets is like the loss of your connection to life. Libanetti, the donation was a thank you to making your audiobook free to us. I might not have gotten otherwise, and I'm truly enjoying it. Well, thank you. And I'll tell you once, I'll tell you forever, I love your name. And I love Italian food. Thank you, by the way, Super Strain Robin, for letting know people can subscribe to my channel. So Mr. Kaushik is now giving his email address to Aprajitha Singh. If you stay in India, contact me. So they're both from the country of India, a very, very amazing country with a long spiritual tradition and some very good engineers. Adam Lyon, I hope I answered your question about the SSRIs. Gwen, EMDR has been highly effective in the VA for PTSD. My therapist does brain spotting, which is similar. It absolutely has helped me tremendously. Do you go to the VA, Shirley, or you just know people who do? Oh my God. Yes, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, Lazy Eye Ranch, and there are predators, unfortunately, that's what happens. Bless your goat. Yes, Peter Shields, social media is bad for depression. You sell your 2-page laminated on Amazon. Really? No, that's not a bad idea. Wow. Guy, give me a call. How do I do that? How do you get something to sell on Amazon? That would be really, really wonderful. Thank you for that idea. Tell me how I can do it. After a while, you can see the live chat text by selecting live chat. I think it is. Maybe you have to wait a bit, like a few hours. Oh, well, this live chat goes up on YouTube right after it's done. You heard Bruce loud and clear? I just heard him again. What is my new website again, Pony Girl? It is SURVIVINGSUICIDAL. But it will be changed soon. But thank you for asking. Yes, please, please, if you can, even for like a minute, just go to that website. It would really, really help out. There's so many people struggling with suicidal ideation. You know, some of you follow politics. Jamie Raskin, the Democratic congressman, he lost his son on on the last day of the year, December 31st. A 26-year-old, second year at Harvard Law School, everything to look forward to in life. And then he got this really bad depressive episode. He just couldn't pull himself out of it. He apologized to his parents. What a tragedy. Something that his parents will never forget. Losing a son to any illness, but to, you know. Do you hear Bruce, everybody? Do you hear him? Come on. Let's hear it for Bruce. Did you hear that? Losing a son to, self-murder is just horrible. Yes, here he is. You want to see Bruce? Oh my God, you can all hear him. Joan, can you bring Bruce in here? People just want to see him so badly.
What?
People want to see Bruce because they're.
Oh, well, he's warning me.
No, well, we'll put him out, but he has to make a guest appearance. We only have 4 minutes left. I'll pick him up. I'll do it. Johnny, next time, let's let him have a quick guest appearance. It'll happen again, don't worry about it. Well, Joan beat me to it. Let Bruce out of the house into the pouring rain. I don't know why he wants to go there, but next time you'll see him. I'm sorry, Texas Angel. Joan beat me to the punch. Bruce Almighty, yes, that's right. Meow meow, Bruce croaking. All right, we're going to bring him on next week, I promise you. One dog, 15 years old, yeah. Well, I'm getting a call. What am I going to do? I'm going to answer it because it's my best friend. Hey, Stuart, I have 2 minutes to go in the live chat. Say hello to the mentals. Oh, I mean, say hello to my live chat people. He's shy. All right, I'll call you back in a little after 1. I'm just finishing up here. Adios. Oh, I didn't even have myself on speakerphone. All right. Answer. I did. It was my best friend from 9 years old. That means I've known him for 63 years, 63 years. Okay, Palma Perry, Manny, I can't do it either. Everyone telling me to get one, help me recover. They just don't get it. Yeah, well, the pet who helped me out of my depression in that book died in 2010. I waited 4 years to get to Bruce. I know pets are so powerful, and it's so difficult to let them go. RCB, I love your name. We'll talk to you next week. He has quite the roar. Yes, he does. Yes. Putting him down was the hardest thing ever. I don't think I can own another dog. Yes. I so understand. I've never been into dogs, more into cats, but I think you make a stronger bond with dogs, or many people do. Insect, wow, what's the best way to deal with anxiety that revolves around responsibility? I have a very avoidant personality and let things get bad. Yeah, that's called procrastination. Well, Insect, wow, if you go into therapy, you can get tools and techniques to move through procrastination. It's all about fear. There are things you can tell yourself. There's all sorts of strategies, but I definitely suggest you find a really good mentor through a counselor or therapist. Joan let the cat out of the bag? No, she let the cat out of the house. So he's camera shy. No, he's not camera shy. I just couldn't grab him. He was on his way out. Next week. Anyway, Insect, wow, yes, you can work through that avoidant personality. It's something that many people deal with, but it takes practice, and you need someone to help you. All right. Oh my God. Well, yes, Pamela. When dogs, I had to put Bruce to Gabriel when he had cancer. Yeah, special guest star, right? Yes. Well, we will see him next week. Okay. He just introduced himself from behind the scenes. Yes, Lena Benetti, I tried to grab Bruce, but my wife Joan let him out the door right before he got there. So this gives you something to look forward to, right? Any advice to stop pushing people away and depression takes over? It's very, very common. I'm afraid to verbalize how awful I feel, which also pushes them away. Well, Terry, you just have to say, if I open myself to people, they will support me. People are my friends. People can be helpful. And also, you can't get out of depression by yourself. You need support. So, just try to tell yourself that opening yourself to people is helpful. And if you don't feel that way, then go to a good therapist and they can help you work through that. All right. So, next week I promise to have Bruce here. And Ravishankar, I'm glad the audiobook is helping you and many other people. You love Italian food too. Eggplant parmesan. Oh my God. Amazing. Yes. Okay. So, a couple of things before I leave. One is take care of yourself this week. Number two is buy FUG. I like that. The other thing is to please visit my website, new website if you can. Even if you spend a couple of minutes there, it has a lot of good information about depression, which of course is the number one cause of people taking their lives. Please visit. And something happened with the stream. I guess we got... Anyway, we're having a buffering problem, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to leave. So, until the 30th of January, stay well, self-care, love yourself, love your fellow human beings. Until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery.